Stephanie Schaefer, and Chief Meteorologist Mark Johnson. News Channel 5's Live on 5 continues.
Welcome back, Live on 5. Millions of Americans suffer from migraines. Now, a local doctor is pioneering a treatment many are calling a miracle. Our own Ted Henry's personal journey to help his wife become pain-free.
Millions suffer from debilitating migraines,
including the wife of News Channel 5's Ted Henry. Coming up, how a local doctor is leading the way in finding a possible cure and why some are calling it a miracle.
Cleveland is home to some of the finest research doctors and surgeons in the world. But it's a plastic surgeon operating out of a tiny one-story building in suburban Lyndhurst who is writing the book on curing migraines. And one of his patients? My wife, Jody Cleary, a chronic migraine sufferer who has had 4 migraines a week on average for the past 20 years.
I'd like people in the world to know that they don't have to live with migraines necessarily.
Jody first learned of Dr. Bauman Gailleron's migraine research last year, and when she learned that he was open to new patients, she jumped at the chance.
Well, I've had migraines since I was in my 20s.
For those of us who never get headaches, let alone migraine headaches, what's it like to have a migraine?
Oh, I don't think they can be described if you haven't experienced one. A bad migraine is really a hideous experience.
Jody learned of this promising new surgery when she heard that Dr. Gailleron had discovered while performing forehead rejuvenation surgery on a patient in 1999 that in a follow-up the patient claimed she hadn't had a migraine headache for 6 months.
A week later, another patient repeated the same story. I was convinced that there's something to it.
Dr. Gailleron then went back and checked 314 patients who had undergone similar procedures. And of those who had a history of migraines, nearly all of them were now either symptom-free or realized great improvement.
Ted, every day that goes by, I'm more convinced that we are helping these patients.
Often I woke up in the morning feeling very, very ill. Mainly the nausea, the vomiting. The pain was excruciating.
Viera Barnett is now typical of the migraine patients Dr. Gailleron has operated on. Today, her migraines are gone. To help him with his research, Dr. Gailleron has put together a team of headache experts. The early findings from reconstructive surgery and then the use of Botox to help pinpoint the source of migraines have led Dr. Gailleron's team to help find and quell migraine trigger points. In surgery, problematic muscle and tissue and nerve components can be removed, eliminating these trigger points.
If you can remove those triggers permanently by removing the muscles from around the nerves and prevent them from being squeezed on, then you will prevent the migraines from occurring.
This is the first time we actually have had a chance to cure migraine.
Jody got to know Dr. Gailleron's team of specialists very well before she finally agreed to her own surgery.
Dr. Gailleron operated on my wife Jody a full half-year ago here.
He performs surgery and clinical tests here frequently as he continues to compile research to bring worldwide medical accreditation and acceptance of his migraine theories. His findings are staggering.
We found out that in 92% of the patients, we are either eliminating migraine headaches or improving them at least 50%.
Dr. Gailleron asked me to make a headache calendar. I was really shocked to see it in record that I was accustomed to living with 20 migraines a month.
Because her migraines came from so many areas, Dr. Gailleron worked on all of Jody's known trigger points.
Dr. Gailleron has identified what he calls trigger points in the scalp that can be paralyzed by the use of Botox injections. Back here, here and here, one is here.
Jody's story is typical. Bill Prysock, like Jody, also had migraines, many lasting 2 to 4 days at a time.
It's miserable. It's like having a knife plied into your brain.
Bill Prysock is Dr. William Prysock, an MD himself, who underwent Dr. Gailleron's migraine surgery a year and a half ago.
It worked. I have not had a migraine in a year and a half.
Not one migraine?
Not one migraine.
Dr. Prysock, I imagine you had to be just a little bit delighted about the news that you were not going to experience migraine headaches anymore. What was your personal reaction to this?
I'm ecstatic, and I know that my life has changed forever.
The medical establishment, skeptics, and medical insurance companies are watching carefully as Dr. Gailleron continues with his elaborate research. So far, it has cost him $2 million out of his own pocket. But he's passionate about the track he's on. He knows This will be his legacy in medicine.
Doctor, this work of yours has taken your profession in a whole different, dramatic direction. It must be very rewarding work for you.
I can't describe to you how fulfilling this is.
Maybe Dr. Guyron can't come up with the right words, but his patients certainly can.
It is a cure. It is a cure, and I believe it.
This procedure works 100% of the time, as far as I'm concerned.
And as for Jody, my wife, her migraine cure?
Probably more than 95%.
And how does that make you feel?
Terrific. It's a whole new life. It really is.
It really is. Dr. Guyron has conducted 3 research projects already, his 4th currently underway. Cleveland is the only city in the world where migraines are being treated in this manner. Go to newsnet5.com if you would like more information about this story. Newsnet5.com. You can get all you want. Since it is not an exact medical term, Dr. Guyron personally does not use the word cure in describing this procedure, but take it from me, many of his patients do, including one I know very well. Also, a person standing very close to me right now is the person I have to thank personally for leading me initially to this man's outstanding work.
As you know, I've done stories with Baum and Guyron, and when I just joined Channel 5, you were talking during commercial break about Jody and her headaches, and a light went off, and I said, you've got to talk to this doctor. He's a miracle worker.
And that's how this story came about. Thank you.
Oh, you're so very welcome. Thank Baum and Guyron. He's amazing.